Refin It Up is extremely happy to announce our new partnership with PSL City Tickets. You could follow them on all social media platforms at PSL City Tickets. And stay tuned as we will have tickets to give away for sporting events, including tailgating. Visit pslcity.net to get the best tickets in your city today.
Now, it's the hottest podcast in the world. From WWE to TNA by way of the NWA. It's referee Brian Hebner, legendary WWE referee and Mr. Refin Rant himself, Jimmy Corderas, and OVW and TNA senior official Daniel Spencer. It's time for Refin It Up.
Welcome back to Refin It Up. I am RJ, Daniel, Jimmy, Brian. How are we doing, guys?
Do I really have to start?
Well, he always goes to you anyway, so might as well.
No, I'm talking about really. It's November 10th as we record this, and I've shoveled twice.
Really?
That freaking white stuff all over the place.
You got a lot more than I do, Brian. Or Jimmy, excuse me.
Yeah. Scraping ice off the windshield. It was nuts.
As soon as I said that he had great reception, what just happened?
Yeah. As soon as you jinxed him.
But I will say this. I got to thank my cousin for suggesting all-weather tires as opposed to all-season tires.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't even know they existed, but trust me, better in any kind of driving condition.
Remember, they didn't reinvent the wheel. They just
Made it better.
Just made
it.
It's still round.
It's still round. Still the same thing. By the way, I'm on the road. I will say that I might go in and out of reception. I think you saw that a minute ago. I'm on the road, but I started in snow, and hopefully when I get done, I'll be in sunshine, beautiful Orlando, Florida. So there you go.
Lucky.
Hell yeah.
Going to Disney World?
Maybe. I didn't win the Super Bowl yet, so my team would do that in January or February. So
That was a great win.
it was a great win. Go Colts. Jonathan Taylor's the man.
He should be
Man,
MVP.
sorry, Jimmy. Well, the
it's
season's
over.
not over yet. The other people fall off. It's fine.
Sure. We won't ask Brian about his team, but we'll just
No,
neither
I'm
for
not about
me.
his team
So
either.
What team?
exactly.
Oh.
Did everybody lose but me? Did everybody's team lost this
Yes.
week but me?
Yep.
Well, Jimmy's was off.
We're both good.
Titans were off this week, right, Jimmy?
At least it's not a loss.
You can just see the wheels turning. It's like, wait, were they off? I don't remember. Well, Toronto won at least, maybe.
Maybe.
Raptors?
But them too.
Oh, forget them too. Jeez.
He can't catch a win, apparently. But guys, why don't we do this before we bring in our guest this week, Ben Hamin? We're going to send it up to our first count right here on Refin It Up.
This is your one count.
One of the most popular, one of the most over wrestlers in all of wrestling. Chelsea Green is now your Women's United States champion. Brian, man, we've been saying it here for quite some time. She knows what to do to get over, and she's done it time after time again.
She is the jack of all trades. Tell me something she cannot do, or show me something she cannot do. She is just amazing, amazing, amazing. It does everything, no matter what's given to her, and brings it to another level that only Chelsea Green can. I love her.
Well, and she's Canadian, Jimmy, so that, she's the nicest person ever, right?
Well, I know you guys have adopted her, but you know what? She's amazing. She's absolutely amazing. And now pairing her with NXT standout Ethan Page, the All Canadian team, I think is great. It's only a matter of time before they bring that to the main roster. We saw Ethan Page actually show up on SmackDown, which is cool.
In the crowd,
So
right?
in the crowd, but he didn't. He was there with
Yeah.
his North American. Oh, sorry, his Canadianized North American Championship.
Canadian.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I like it. I like it a lot, and it's nice to see. And I know people are saying, here's the thing that kills me about. I gotta bitch about these people again. Here we go with the IWC.
No, not you.
They were up in arms when Chelsea Green lost the United States. Oh, she just won the title. She barely had a chance to. And now she wins it back. I can't believe they took the belt off Julia. Why'd they put it back on Chelsea Green? What the? Well, which is it?
Right.
You know.
Can't have it
Anyways,
both ways,
yeah,
apparently.
I think it was a good move. I'm sorry. With all due respect to Julia, I don't think she was resonating with the audience like she possibly could. So guess what? When you don't resonate with the audience, you change lanes.
And I will say too, I had the pleasure of working with Chelsea for quite a few years, at least 3 years, I think, something like that. Um, and she's just as fun in the back as she is out in front of the cameras. She's just full of life, a bubbly, happy person. I have never heard her bitch, and she has some of the stupidest gimmicks in TNA, and she never did anything but just bring it to another level. Who would have thought the crazy Chelsea thing? Y'all remember that gimmick, right? Where she
Hot
had,
mess.
Mm.
yeah, hot mess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I know she didn't love it, but look, she'd made the best of that thing. It was awesome, and it ended up being like an historic character in TNA's history. It's like unbelievable. So I can't say enough good things about Chelsea Green, and she deserves to have that title and many more, and maybe even some bigger ones, in my opinion.
No, I couldn't. You couldn't say it better. Chelsea is one of a kind. She's phenomenal. Um, yeah, she's the best overall. And in ring, and the crazy about it is she's so good in the ring as well. And she's, just I remember watching her on Tough Enough. I told her this. I remember watching her on the Tough Enough she was on, and I was shocked that she didn't make it through. And I'm like, what is going on? But what I love about it is that she was like, all right, I'm going to show that they made a mistake. And she went and did it. And not only got signed with them, they released her and then turned around and made herself well again to get signed again. And there's no way they release her now. I mean, she's a draw. She's money. And she's I pledge allegiance to uh, the United States of Chelsea. So there you go.
But
Just gotta
Brian,
have
you
that
brought up an
trademark somewhere.
interesting point. You brought
What
up
is
an interesting point. You said some of the characters she was presented in TNA, she wasn't thrilled with, but she made the best of them. She made chicken salad out of chicken
Shit.
dumplings or whatever. Uh, I just find that interesting and it's refreshing to hear.
Now, when I say too that she didn't really like the gimmick, I don't mean she complained about it.
Exactly.
I just know she didn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I may be wrong. She may say, Brian, you're wrong. I actually love the gimmick, but I don't believe that at all. Um, but you're right, Jimmy. She can do that. I don't. I would love to see them make something uncomfortable for her to do and just watch her just kill it.
So it's like the Royal Rumble when she re-signed and re-debuted or came debuted the Royal Rumble. Her spot was literally to come out there to walk, do everything, get the reaction, start this character of this Karen character, right?
Mhm.
She gets in the ring, she, does what boom, gets thrown out immediately within a minute, less than a minute or 30 seconds or whatever it was. And she, like anybody else would have complained about that spot. Nope. She was like, oh, I'm gonna make it the best, and she owned it, made it what it was, and then everyone was mad that she got thrown out, which was the whole point. You should be mad. And then that started her Karen character, which I thought was amazing how she's did that character. And she's turned it into a different levels of it. It's kind of what's the word? Morphed or evolved into what it is now, but just only she could have done something like that.
And that was a talking point of the Women's Royal Rumble
Yeah, it was.
afterwards. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, we're obviously we know Daniel's on his way down to Orlando for the TNA live uh, TV on Thursday, as well as the pay-per-view on Friday and TV tapings afterwards. However, they've been off for the last couple weeks, Jimmy, and Moose was lastly on a show with Bill Pritchard from WrestleZone, and he mentioned that he was asked about Mike Santana winning the title there at Bound for Glory before one of the biggest uh, audiences in company history. And he said that Mike Santana, he just won the world title and essentially brought it back home. First time world champion, did it in front of the largest crowd in TNA history, I think. And then we take 4 weeks off. So I feel most sad for him because, in my opinion, that's not the way that should happen. But at the same time, I trust Carlos, being Carlos Silva. I trust the team, and I understand the reasons why they did it. I'm on board, but at the same time, I feel bad for guys like Mike Santana and other guys on our roster who love the fire that we've got going on. Uh, so, something. What did you take out of that little blurb there, Jimmy?
Um, Obviously that Mike Santana, in Moose's opinion, it maybe hurt a little bit of the momentum of that moment of him winning at Bound for Glory, and I could see that point. I also like the fact that he is trusting in the process, which is a good sign. Obviously, you want to be on board with the momentum that TNA is currently experiencing. But at the same time, you have to wonder, has this little break of original programming on television after the Bound for Glory kind of slowed that momentum down, where people maybe want to tune in the following week to see the next chapter,
I
if you
agree.
get what I mean?
I do. The one thing I take out of this is that he had to have known that he was going to be off this amount of time after winning it. Secondly, it kind of makes sense in a way because of the fact of this. You're giving a guy time off as well. The whole locker room, the whole roster is getting some time to get rested. This TV deal is, I don't know, a month away, 2 months away. It's going to happen before or in January. And it's like a way to reboot the entire show on a new network, as opposed to dragging along storylines that really may not even carry over into the new year. So I understand, Jimmy, what you're saying, and I agree with you. The momentum probably is sucked out of the air or sucked out of the room for these couple weeks. What is it, 3-4 weeks? But in a way, if this TV deal comes through and it's a lucrative one where there are going to be more eyes be able to watch the show, it kind of makes sense to just start all over and introduce everyone again to what TNA is and the people that are in it, and give him more eyes on their new champion. So there's multiple ways of looking at it, but I do see the momentum being lost. I do, because I feel it as well. I'm like, damn, they were doing so well, and now it's like we're just sitting here scratching our butts. But Carlos has a reason for this, and hopefully they come back out and they go and advertise for the next couple of weeks before January that they're going to be on the CW network and start these great commercials that only TNA's great production team can put together to make you excited again that it's going to be aired on something that everybody can watch. Just my opinion.
I do like that Moose is trusting the system, pun intended.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean that's what we all are. And yes, it is. I'll say it like this: it shows you how much faith they have in someone like Mike Santana, and it also shows you who Mike Santana is. That hey, the title can go on him, and we can take a break, and it's okay. It's not going to hurt the momentum of him. It's not going to hurt the momentum of the company. We're on the up and up. And look, it's been nice having a few weeks off. I'm not going to lie. It's been weird, but it's been nice. So I'm not too complaining about that. I'm ready. We're back on the road down this week. So we're excited for that though too. I don't know what the Stevie Brian, you must know something more than I do. Kudos to that. We're just talking about this TV deal.
I
In
do.
a couple of months.
I do, Daniel.
Okay, cool. But yeah,
Wow.
I think that it's it just shows that the faith what they have and Mike Santana and the team as a whole, and that taking a couple weeks off is not gonna. And granted, the partnership with WWE helps. We're still being mentioned weekly. We're still having people show up on there and stuff. So it's not a complete disappearance of TNA. It's just a little parking, and while we wait to take off. That's all.
And there's a reason for it. Trust me.
Yeah.
They wouldn't just do it.
Right. Uh, Something else that is back on the road, or somebody else that has been back on the road, has been John Cena, Brian. And we're starting to see, as we're recording tonight, like Jimmy mentioned, we're recording Monday here on the 10th of November. Tonight is his last time at the TD Garden there in Boston, his home city, as him being from West Newbury, Massachusetts, that is. Uh, but they're going to have a tournament for his last uh, opponent. And everybody has their own opinion, Brian. I just want to get yours, and then obviously with Jimmy too. Both of you guys worked with him in the past. But what do you think of this tournament?
So I know I'm gonna get lashback from the boys, but it's okay. This is how I feel. I think the tournament kind of sucks. Unless they really spice this thing up to where it makes more appeal to me than it has already not done. Um, the last time is now tournament, which features 16 people, men, in a tournament to be the last one or win and be the last guy to face John Cena's last match, December the what in Washington?
13th.
13th in Washington.
13th. And by the way, tonight is weird. We are taping on Monday Night Raw. We can't even talk about Monday Night Raw, which we will talk about next week. But I'm excited about tonight, by the way. And if you didn't watch it on Monday, you need to go back and watch it. You can do that on Netflix, and it's going to be really, really good, I'm sure. But the surprises of a Adam Copeland and Chris Jericho are out the window. Are out the window because you don't. First of all, Adam's under contract with AEW. That's not happening. Jericho, that would be not a good way to reintroduce him to the WWE. For what? It wouldn't be a huge surprise. It would almost be flat because you would know that he's in the tournament and he'd have to win 3-4 matches in order to do it. And then if he were to get through and do that, does he do the job to Cena, which does nothing for him when he's got a future in WWE, or does Cena go over him, or vice versa? It just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. So everyone can get those surprise factors out of their minds. That's not happening. So now you bring into question. Obviously, they're going to put it on someone who's a young and upcomer that they have faith that's going to be a star in the future, aka Dominic Mysterio, aka Joe Hendry.
Don't say his name.
Okay, sorry. When you say his name, he will appear. Good one, Jimmy. My bad. But some of the other people that I've heard in the tournament. Now, what did LA Knight that's got a surprise opponent that they're going to announce on SmackDown, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So that's just a way to keep you wondering and thinking that's Adam, in my opinion, or it's Jericho. And it's not going to be. Trust me, it's not. And if it is, I will be the first to say I'm sorry, but it's not happening. It doesn't make sense. Now I'll shut up and let you go on and talk about it. Boys, go ahead.
Well, Jimmy, what did you worked with him? You were there for when he came back there at the Royal Rumble at Madison Square Garden.
Mm-hmm.
I love to hearing the story every time that you say it, but just your thoughts on this tournament, man, and just his last run here.
Quickly, for those who haven't heard the story before, I'm going to really, really quickly give you the Reader's Digest notes. He was a surprise, not only to the audience, but to everybody in the back. They tried to sneak him into the building so nobody saw him. But I saw them when they were sneaking him in, and they had him covered. They literally had him covered, except for his sneakers. And that's what gave it away. And I went, But I didn't tell anybody.
Mm.
I kayfabed it, brother. But anyway,
Hey, brother.
I don't know. Part of me says this is an interesting idea because it makes the idea of facing John Cena in his last match feel almost as important as a title, if that makes any sense. Like having that tournament to be that guy to face John Cena to possibly, but at the same time, I'm like, you can tell a nice story for that last match. Like for one of the things you brought up a name, Brian, Dominic Mysterio.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like we said, we were recording this prior to Raw. So the rumor is that he's possibly facing Dominic Mysterio in an Intercontinental Championship match in his hometown of Boston. What better scenario? What better place for him to become a Grand Slam champion and win the only championship he's never won? And then Dominic gets his retribution in his last match against John Cena's last match.
But Jimmy, don't you have to agree though in a way? And because you haven't said you haven't agreed with anything I said yet. That's good. But don't you have to agree it has to be someone of a Dominic or someone that's younger that's going to be, featured later?
Yes, I get that theory, but at the same time, I don't know how much at this point it's going to help elevate them. I mean, we've seen it in the past. WrestleMania, Austin Theory.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
on the biggest stage of them all. I don't know if that scenario will work. That's my only skepticism.
I don't think it needs to be that. I think it. I mean, the perfect opponent honestly would be Kurt Angle. If you think about it, his first match and his last match.
He's
But
not going to wear it to work. Dude.
well,
Full circle
I understand that. But what I'm saying is that it doesn't need to be. It could be. It's John Cena, so you don't have to have. Yes, you have the up and coming, but it doesn't need to be that. It could easily be a nostalgia. It could be whoever. It could be. I mean, Flair went out against Michaels. He wasn't an up and coming star. I know Flair had other matches afterwards, but you know what I mean. His actual retirement WWE match was against Michaels. Undertaker went out against, like was it
Bray,
AJ Styles, right?
AJ.
Yeah.
Technically,
In the
or AJ
cinematic
Styles, but I
match.
mean his last
Yeah.
in ring was Goldberg, and then before that it was Roman Reigns. So like,
Yeah.
and then Goldberg or Brock beat the streak, so it shouldn't have been. It's so I mean, there's so many. It doesn't have to be that scenario. I still think I disagree with Brian. I still think surprises are going to happen. I still think it can be. It may not be Adam or Chris, right? But it's going to be other surprises. And I still think that the winner of the tournament may not be the one who faces John Cena. So, in his final
Interesting.
match.
My curiosity, though, because like everybody talking about, they said maybe maybe even a couple of guys who don't work for the company, and people are automatically assuming TNA because of the relationship WWE and NXT has
Yeah.
with TNA. What if it's someone completely outside?
Well, people are talking about somebody like Matt Cardona too. But Daniel, to go back to you real quick, the surprise will be for one night. The rest of the tournament's not a surprise, so
No, no,
it's
no, no.
worthless.
It's not as worthless. It's still a surprise, just like the Royal Rumble. It's not a worthless. It's still a surprise. It still gets a pop. Still gets the talk. Still gets the buzz. And you see them again if they win. But the thing about it is, though, is that I'm getting my whole point is I still think to this day the tournament's going to happen. The winner's going to go on to face John Cena and they're going to have a match. And as soon as the match over, music's going to hit, and his final opponent's going to be somebody different. That won't be their final opponent after all.
They'll
I just
just
think that's
sanction another match. Someone will sanction.
yeah.
Another
Why
match.
not? It's John Cena. He can do what he wants. He's
No,
the
I
GOAT.
know, but I'm saying, how does that make sense?
It doesn't. It doesn't. Why does it have to make sense? It's John Cena.
Well,
So that's the whole
if you're
point.
gonna
It doesn't have to make sense.
if you're gonna paint that scenario, Daniel, why maybe it's somebody who can make his own rules.
Exactly. That's where it can be that too. I'm going with that as well.
Oh,
By the way, I did see a
see.
clip. I did see a clip of it was a house show of I don't know who was tagging with who, but it was Eddie Guerrero, John Cena, Tajiri, and Kurt Angle in a tag team at a house show. There's a young up and coming Brian Weber referee that was referee in that match, and I saw like about on Instagram. I'm gonna share it with you all. I saw it about like 2 minutes or whatever. They were ripping on each other, making jokes and stuff. It was pretty fun. And but that ref was, man, he was taking his job seriously. Like, boo, relax, like chill. It's you can have fun.
I
So,
had to earn,
anyways,
I had to earn my keep, man.
yeah, well, yeah,
Apparently. Uh,
apparently.
guys, why don't we do this? Why don't we send it up to our Refin review before we bring in our very special guest, Mr. Ben Hamin, right here on Refin It Up.
This is Refin Review.
Guys, this past week on AEW TV, we saw a match between Darby Allin and Daniel Garcia, Jimmy. Uh, Something that we've talked about numerous times on this show uh, kind of came to the forefront in this, right, Jimmy? Sorry.
Yeah, well, we've always had issues with not utilizing the 10 count outside a lot, but they did try to use it in this match. Let me paint the picture. They're fighting outside. Daniel Garcia and Darby Allin are fighting on the outside. Uh, Daniel Garcia sets up Darby Allin, his head between the ring post and the steps, drop kicks the steps. Now, I'm not going to get into how long he should have been laid out for because it's Darby Allin and he got hit by a bus and probably walked away from it, if I'm not mistaken. But besides that, the referee started to count. Daniel Garcia rolls back in the ring. The referee continues to count. I'm going to ask you guys a question before I continue this.
Okay.
What would constitute the referee stopping his count and restarting it?
If a
I-
guy would
So
roll it, guy would have
go
re-entered
ahead.
the ring and go back out.
That's one option. Yeah, if the guy rolls in and rolls out, the other option would have been if you're counting and then the move happens and he rams his head into the post or the stairs or whatever you just described, then the ref could go technically check on him at that moment, stop his count
Right.
to check, come back in and restart. So those are the two options that I would technically stop and restart.
Me
Okay.
too.
Let me preface this by saying he started counting when, like you said, check on the talent, whatever. Started counting when Daniel Garcia rolled into the ring. When he got to 6, Daniel Garcia started walking towards that side of the ring where Darby Allin was on the outside. Bryce stopped him, backed him up,
Okay.
so there could be some interference because Darby Allin was already getting to his feet and Pac clotheslined him on the outside.
Okay.
Then Bryce walks back to the ropes, and what's the count?
The count should be 7.
He started over.
Mm.
Wow. I didn't see it, Jimmy. I did not see it.
No, I'm just saying that if you're going to utilize the count out option and especially tease it, I think you should use it correctly, the way it's meant to be. If Daniel Garcia had walked over and put one leg outside the ropes like he was going to go out, now technically he's breaking that plane.
Mhm.
So when he gets backed up and then and Bryce goes back to start the count, he starts over again because
So,
Daniel Garcia broke that plane.
so
Mhm.
But he
I
didn't.
didn't see the match either. Did this match end a count out?
It didn't end up in a count out anyways.
Okay.
The count out
Okay.
was teased and we had the miraculous 0 to hero
Nine,
from dead to
9.5.
in the ring on 9 7/8. But again, I just it's those little things when it comes to the rule enforcement that they kind of like it when utilized correctly, it could add so much to a match.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But we've been saying
You know,
for a
yeah,
while now, Jimmy. Hold on one second. Go ahead, Daniel.
I don't know. All I was going to say was that my only way that I would take up for that is that there is, according to Bryce, is that who it was? Bryce?
Yep.
Okay. According to Bryce and maybe any other referee who've been in that position, their justification of restarting the match is that Daniel Garcia broke the count. They're pushing back. So that's their logic of why they restarted it. I'm not saying they're right or wrong. I'm just saying that is the logic behind it. So I
Right.
get why they did that. Okay, I get that. However, I would have had a conversation beforehand, and if I was told, "Hey, then restart the count or whatever, so we can give you more time to whatever it may be," I would have asked for another way, another
Hmm.
out for me to have to start and restart. That's just not me personally. Like whether Daniel Garcia tried to actually go out of the ring and then me pushing back, then I can
Right.
restart the count or whatever,
Right.
like you were saying, something like that. But anyways, that was my. I can understand their justification of why they did it. I'm not saying they're right or wrong. I'm just saying that is their logic of why they restarted because he broke the count, so therefore he can go ahead and restart it. That's why he did it.
To me, we've been saying it for a while. There is no logic with the WWE AEW officiating. There isn't. There's no logic. They do what they want. Um, this is just another way of pointing out, Jimmy, that if they're going to use the count to be done correctly, right? I mean,
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
and I agree, and it can get way more mileage out of a match than just breaking it for no reason. It is what it is at this point. So,
And again, you have to look at. It's easy to point the finger at the referees and at Bryce in this case, but he's just doing what he's told to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, so it falls on people who should know better. And if you're going to blame Bryce for anything, it's got to be, he's been there now. He's been there pretty much their lead official since day one, if I'm not mistaken. Him and Paul Turner. So at this point, he should be able to speak up and say, "Hey guys, you got to rethink that and not, you know, and utilize the count out in a correct fashion." That's all I'm saying.
Right. No
I
doubt.
agree.
Uh,
100%.
guys, so why don't we do this? Why don't we have our intern go get our guests in the green room? Hopefully it's still standing at this
No
point. Our
infidels.
intern's kind of, on his last life here, but why don't we do that? Why don't we take a break, come back in our second count with a very special guest, Bint Hamin, right here on Refin It Up.
This is your 2 count.
Welcome back to our second count right here on Refin It Up. I am honored to welcome in the owner, the founder of Hamin Media Group. It's got a nice ring to it, man. I have to admit that. But welcome to the show, man. How are you?
Yes, that's right, infidels. I'm here invading the zebras, the stripes. Nobody I like to low blow more than a referee in the ring, infidels. So watch your crotches because Hacker Hamin has arrived. Yes, no, I appreciate being here. You guys on Reffing It Up and with legendary refs all the way around, man. So great to get the invite. Thank you so much. And yeah, thanks for the praise on Hamin Media Group, a group of wrestling pundits who try and bring the most honest discussion to the most hardcore fans.
All right. So, Ben, I have two things to say to start out this. First of all, stay away from my fucking nuts. Second of all, how in the hell, brother, do you work with Vince and Al? What the hell?
Well, I mean, I was OVW cat like Daniel is, and so I came up underneath Al and Rip. So if you can survive that, there isn't much left in this business that can get to you most of the time, And yeah, with Russo, man, it's been a crazy crossover working with him and Stevie Richards. Stevie kind of opened the door to introduce me to Vince, and I'm a loudmouth New York guy, so I knew it was going to click right away with Vince. And I even remember, during my fanboy era where I wanted to take improvisation to the creative side of wrestling, and I knew I could be different than everybody else. I remember kind of visualizing it, saying I could be the next Vince Russo to this business. After I shut down Improv Olympic one night with Ed Ferrara till 4 a.m. drinking beers. And he kind of, whether he was working me or not at that time, I don't think so. He's like, you got to go to OVW if you really want to do this. That was circa 2005, 2006. So, yeah. And here I am, 20 years later, and Vince is my business partner, and he says very kind things about me and really respects my creativity. So regardless if I ever got the call or what have you, or been blacklisted or blackballed because of the controversy of my character, they couldn't keep me out of the castle. I can, dig under the wall, catapult myself over. No one's going to stop me. And I've been lucky to make a lot of great moments and have a great independent career, man. So I attribute that to my mentors and all the people that took bumps for me. Absolutely.
And by the way, before I let
Amazing.
the boys jump in, I just want to let you know, I love Vince. I love Al. That was a
Yeah.
rib. I love
Oh,
them
of
boys.
course, man.
I love Stevie too. So and I don't care what anybody thinks either. I know Vince's got a lot of heat on the internet and all that bullshit. I love Vince Russo. Always have. He's always been great to me. And Al, we've been riding partners, brother.
Yeah.
So lots of stories with him. But anyway, yes, I love them. And you know what?
Yeah.
I would be absolutely proud and honored to work with them as well. So I'm a little jealous of you.
Well, thank you, man. I just feel like the best will always find each other, and that's why we're here together tonight. And also, you have to, like the song says, my sacrifice. Are you going to pack up and move to go find where the best are performing to humble yourself and shut the F up and learn and make mistakes, get yelled at, be humble about it, and not make that mistake again, hopefully, and that's what it takes to be in this entertainment business. I did it when I moved to Chicago to study improv with the masters, and that was kind of always my goal of like, all right, do I want to try and go Saturday Night Live routes or Comedy Central, which a lot of my friends and teammates did. I was always a wrestling fanatic, and that was my opportunity to be different. So, but as Vince would say, hacker, they would get rid of you on day one because they know you're the smartest one in the room. I hate to put myself over, but like, I'm just not going to sit there and let ideas that can't be punched up or, flushed out, like be the main thing. So, yeah, man, it was great at OVW. It was great on the road for a decade and a half to CW. I got to work with so many legends like Piper, Slaughter, Duggan multiple times, along with plenty of other former WWE and WW or Impact guys all the way around. So if I didn't do it at Wembley Stadium, who gives a shit, man? I
Right.
got into this to be a creative, and I got to live a way bigger life than I ever thought I would.
So
Yeah, it
obviously,
was one of those. Go ahead, Jimmy. I'm
no,
sorry.
no, sorry. Because like you said, being creative and stuff like that, and I know you pay attention to the product because that's what you talk about on your platforms.
Mhm.
Not only yourself, but like the other aforementioned Al Snow and Vince and Stevie and everybody. What is I don't even know how to present this question properly. What is the biggest change you've seen from you talked about being in the creative room and they'd probably shut you down because you'd be the smartest guy in the room. Has any of that in your mind changed today? Has any of that progressed? You think people are allowed to voice
Oh,
ideas
honestly,
like
in an
you?
opinion, no, I absolutely don't, based on the creative that I see week to week, where we're getting 10% value, or we, as improv would say, we find the game and we play it one time and they pat themselves on the back, but they don't know how to play it week after week after week, heighten and explore. Like in Our Truth understands that concept, but these kids have no idea because they're not trained in that, and they're not trained in that type of think. Um, when one of the funniest things I talked about today on the Monday locker room is during my time at OVW was that switch over to FCW, and I was working security for Triple H and Shawn that weekend when they came to OVW in 2008, and looked at all the boys after the show and said, OVW will always be a WWE property. They've made more stars here than ever, and we're not going anywhere, even if we're open in Florida and whatnot. And then 8 weeks later, the moving vans showed up and took all the rings and whatnot. Then what was it? Maybe 3 weeks ago, Triple H said to the creative team, "There's no way AI is going to replace any of you. It can't do the job of what the writers do. You guys will have a job. Don't worry about it." I go, that sounds awfully familiar. So,
Yeah.
you know, some things never change, bro, in the work of this stuff. So whether it's when Vince and Stevie and I were allegedly consulting for USA Network, and they said to us, "We want an edgier product." Wasn't that what we heard this week from ESPN as well? So we wrote them edgy stuff, and they get 10% value out of it. So they just don't care. It's all about selling a bad bill of goods to the next buyer in line at a higher price, just used car salesman selling a lemon, as opposed to actually focusing on making the product high quality, because I'm a business owner. I have multiple businesses. And if I had 5 million customers last January and this going into this January, I only had 2.2 million customers. Well, I wouldn't be considering myself a success losing 66% of my business. But the check's already been cashed and nobody at Netflix wants egg on their face. So they'll fail upwards and go to some other corporation and become a CEO going, I got a $5 billion deal done. Yeah, but you don't care about the quality of the show, retaining audience, any of that stuff. So it's all a false positive on their side to sell it to the next sucker. And the next sucker has $1 trillion and pretends they're in a royal family that doesn't exist. So that's good stuff.
Yeah, it's been one of those things, Ben, that I first met you probably out here in the Rochester area,
Mhm.
probably about 5, 6 years ago, and I was coming in working for Hellcats promotion there
Yeah,
before,
UPW, Upstate Pro
yeah,
Wrestling in Rochester.
before COVID, and coming in, I was doing backstage stuff, and I was dealing with Hellcat, and then Caden, and I'm like, okay, well, what do you want me to do? They're like, go talk to Ben. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, walk up to introduce you to you, and I'm like, oh, this is what I think, and then you're like, okay, well, that's good, but what about this? What about it this way? And I'm like, oh wow, that really makes sense, but to put some context on it, man, it's just one of those things where you have that you always have that wheel turning, man, and you see that both in what you're doing on your platforms, as well as for me personally seeing you on the independent circuit.
Oh, well, first of all, huge missed opportunity to bury me when you could have said I was a total asshole and told you to get away from me, kid. You could have got your shit in right there. I mean,
Come
so
on,
Well,
RJ. What the fuck?
well,
no,
what I didn't say is he kicked me in the knee, called me a bad name, and said that it's all your mother's fault. But no,
No, I do.
seriously, no.
I remember that day at
Yeah,
that show, man, meeting you, and I appreciate that kind sentiments.
yeah.
What improv has given me is a different mindset. As human beings, we're constantly conditioned to say no, but, and why. In improv, we do the exact opposite, and I live a very yes and lifestyle. So I'm going to actively listen to your idea because you're probably passionate about it and have a view of what you want to do. Then my mentorship training kicks in, and I hear Al Snow in my ear going, Rule 1, put heat on your heel, make your baby off of your heel. So where is our heat? Who's the baby face that needs to get made? And what do I do in this moment? You know what I mean? So and if I'm taking your idea and we're now collaborating together, it's art by committee. And you say yes off of my idea, and now we're heightening in the segment. We both have some ownership in it, and we're both on the same page, excited to do something, as opposed to you forcing your idea. No, hold on, let me try this, and I force something else on you. Now we're not connecting whatsoever. And how can we connect with the audience if we're not on the same page?
So keep in mind, guys, I'll send it over to you after we did this segment. I believe it was you, Ben, and Cloudy.
Cloudy? Yeah, probably.
And I can't remember if this is like 5, 6 years ago, so I barely remember this morning. I don't know if it was you or him, but as soon as the segment ended, it was still on camera. When he just form shivered me against the wall, I'm like, what the?
Yeah.
And we went out. So, but it's just you make them wanting more from you. But
I appreciate it. And if I'm going through the curtain and I'm raging, I'm not going to go through the curtain and or stop a foot before the curtain, go character off. I'm raging 20 feet into the back. So if somebody's right by Gorilla and their seats there, they can hear me going off. And I'm going, and I hope that sets a precedent for other guys who are doing something emotional in their character where they go, oh, I see what he's doing when I go off and I'm going off, and like they can still hear me even if it's in there. So that little bit of believability is super important to me, especially when playing such a heavy stereotype character for 20 years, you know?
Two phrases you use that I find very interesting that have been in the wrestling business for since day one, basically: heels and baby faces. It almost feels like today, outside of a very select few, heels, or those who are trying to be heels, are afraid to actually be disliked and have no redeeming qualities. Would you agree with that statement?
Yeah, because I think everybody just wants to walk in the line in the gray area. I mean, we should walk the line and punch both sides, left and right of whatever it is. But if you're a monster heel, and especially me pressing the 9/11 PTSD, that's my payoff. And all I need to do is watch the news and claim that, yes, I am the one who put Mom Dummy. There's only one man who could get him elected. Like whatever it is, people are water cooler pissed off about to that point, or even if you stubbed your toe at night on your bed, blame me. That's
Right.
what I want, bro. So when I lose, you feel great about it that they got that son of a bitch finally, because you were told Osama bin Laden was killed by SEAL team. You were told he was dumped in the ocean. No footage of all that. So you get to live with that PTSD and that lie and that, and underneath the surface of that is everything you hate about my character. So I'm going to press those buttons, hot topic, whether it's school shootings, and the best acting we do is when we say nothing at all. I remember I was doing an indie show for Dynasty, and I think it was right before I got to work with Muhammad Hassan when he came back, which was a total honor as well.
Oh wow.
And it was right after Parkland High School shooting, another psyop. And I was right before intermission, and I lose, and they're all yelling at me, and all these little kids and all these parents are gathered around, and all I had to do was a finger gun, point at each one of those 6-year-olds and go like that.
Oh
And the
no.
little kids don't know because they're not up to ski on Parkland, but all those parents' faces, and they knew I had them. Like, if you want to take it to that level, I don't need to say anything. I can just go. And what does that mean? American society is effed. You act like USA is number one, but the reality is you're way down here and you don't want to admit it, and your children aren't safe based on your own foolish actions and not holding governments accountable. I don't have to say that. I just need to go.
Right.
So, and this is Del Close from Improv Olympic, the godfather of improv. The work can handle anything if you approach it with the right respect. Now,
Right.
that respect might be low and dirty, but if you're going to have a major bad guy for your film, that's what I'm going to be. Joe Rogan, the whole speech, you're the star of your film. Well, if Ben Hamin is that, then I'm a global terrorist entity. What does that entail? And who am I taking from? Everyone from George Bush Jr. to Hitler to Tojo to whoever
Right.
it is, man.
Do you
So
think that, as Jimmy was saying, do you think that we should, WWE or, or AEW, TNA, should they all go back to? I mean, there's a few that, as you mentioned, that does this, but should they go back to the traditional heel that's completely not trying to get the crowd to go ooh ah or sing along with the song or or
Sure.
say their catchphrases, but like completely 100% be the heel that are like, screw this mother lover, I want him out of here.
Because you're not going to have made baby faces that draw unless you have heels like that. And if you're
Mhm.
not going to make them while we're in a world of turmoil where here we have Ilya Dragunov, here we have Gunther, here we have, anybody that we could put in a Ukraine situation with Russia. We don't, Rusev. No, he's Bulgarian.
Yeah.
Bro, you got it right there in the palm of your hand. And you're not going to pull the trigger because you want to stay PG. You don't want to go that far. And then none of those guys ever get over as heels, and they all want to be cool guys who do moves as opposed to thumb to the eye, fish hook, cheap heat on the traps, whatever it is, low blow. Like there's the only person who's doing any of that stuff and he's getting over because he's doing it is Dominic Mysterio. Dominic Mysterio is playing the game. What is the game? Eddie Guerrero is my father.
Right.
And I'll make reference to it, but in a show don't tell way, the mustache, the hair, the move set, the lie, cheat, steal.
Yeah.
Right? We get to see it as opposed to him telling you every week. Then when Ray brings it up, all he has to say is keep my dad's name out of your mouth. Bing. And then we go another 6 months of show don't tell before we have to say it again.
Right.
That's playing out the game and heightening and exploring, and you never let go of that game. You never let go of it.
So,
But he's doing it, and the crowd respects it because he's actually giving them what they want from everybody. But he's the only one who's doing it, bro. Everybody else just dips their toe in when they need to be up to their chest in heat.
So unusually, I have not been listening to you for a couple of weeks because I knew you were going to be on here, and that's on purpose because I want to get your true take in the moment. We talked a little bit about this earlier in our show, but I want to see where you line up with what we said. Lots of chatter, and I'm sure you've already had it. Like I said, unusually, I haven't been listening on purpose. I do, by the way, but absolutely. What are your thoughts and feelings on the Cena Last Time Is Now tournament? Do you feel like this is a good idea? Do you feel like the surprises are going to be good enough? Do you feel like how do you feel about it? Just the whole concept.
I think we're on a C- road. Like this is a Band-Aid on a broken leg where we made a super strong choice to turn Cena heel, and then whatever's happened backstage between Rock, Cena, Nick Khan, and Game, we don't know yet. Like what caused this to in one SmackDown promo, we're back to selling t-shirts and hit the trumpets, da 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 da. Like out of nowhere now, like we just killed the strong choice. So now they had no roadmap for success. They had no end game of where it is. And John Cena's illustrious career. Now we're doing a pick the fucking ball out of the tumbler. Like that's like, can you imagine in January? Like, and then when we get to October, we're bringing the tumbler out and we're going to have it's just so far down the line from what our better choices were to end this epic career of a guy who is OVW, truly gets it, and they can chastise him for 5 moves of doom all they want. Top merch seller, been on top forever, and does business for guys that should have it done for them. Some maybe not, but I just think that it's too little too late and exposes again that they don't care about the fan base. And if they'll ruin their top guy of all time of the last 20 years legacy in the last year and not have a true roadmap for success, then why should I care about it? I think it's piss poor kind of.
Do you think that the surprises that they're leading people to believe in, like a Adam Copeland or Jericho, is ridiculously stupid to think that they'll be in this tournament at all?
I don't know if it's ridiculous to think that. I think those guys would want to be in there, and I think they should be. You know what I mean? But it wasn't figured in that way. Like I say, now we're just grasping at straws to try and make a moment to save this thing on the way out. Grab what you can off the Titanic while it's sinking. You know what I mean? All the silver. So it's it'll be all right. But here's the thing: when Triple H last week goes, starting Monday, it's a new landscape. Did anybody feel like the landscaping changed? Like maybe that means they're bringing the Mexicools back on tractors. I don't know.
Actually, I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, that would have been a save. But it's these promises of like big surprises coming, and then you're setting your audience up for the return of Christ, and instead you're going to get a sad trombone every time. Like you can't go, surprise is coming. It's not a surprise if you tell me. If Cena's in the ring and all of a sudden the Jericho countdown clock hits and that's the first time we hear of him, now that's something where the internet's going, oh my God, he's back. But if you're
right,
if Jericho's showing ab muscles and the sheets are like Dean Ambrose is leaving soon, and like now we know, and it's all telegraphed and nobody's kayfabing anything to keep a huge secret to make an oh my God moment. So that's the worst thing you can do is set up expectations because you're almost always going to under deliver.
What do you think do you think Punk coming back to WWE was the most recent surprise that they kept under wraps? Because I mean,
yeah,
or was there something else? I'm trying to think what the biggest surprise they've done in the last few years have been.
I would probably say that.
Who did Daniel say?
Punk,
Punk.
CM Punk.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
But how long until that goes sideways? Like, Zebra's not going to change his stripes, my guy. You can act like you and Triple H are boys all the time, but you saw the frustration with Jey Uso in the ring. You see the Mindy's muffins, I'm old, I'm tired, and I work with children start to slip out. I was around that guy in OVW plenty of times, and because I was deemed one of the cool kids by Team Cody, Punk, Mercury, and others, I kind of got the slide, but I saw the way he treated guys that were under who weren't in that, oh, he's all right with the office clique, and he treated them like trash, like to their faces, embarrassed them, guys who never made it out of Louisville in this business. And my dad taught me how to be a true man and how you respect everybody, and the soldiers always eat before the generals do. And I carry that chop wood, carry water mentality in everything I do in my work ethic. And that's all I needed to see from him, and how he treated guys that he deemed under, and then how he treated his own friend. Like they went and did the podcast, him and Colt, and then they get sued, and he's saying, oh, I'll pay your lawyer fees. Well, $250,000 later, he's stooging off that the guy's got a bank account with his mom and they're not friends anymore after 20 years. Doesn't make sense to me. And I have a huge amount of respect for his best friend, Ace Steel. And I just consider Ace to have the mentality I do. And then the way I've seen Punk act, it's just weird to me how those two align. But that's just my own personal experience with the guy. You know what I mean? But I think it could blow up again. Like, that guy's only one bad day away from going scorched earth backstage.
So you think, basically, in a nutshell, the Cena tournament is pretty much garbage?
Is it must see? Is everybody going, you got to watch this, you never know who's coming back? It just feels like we're looking for any way out, how to wrap this thing up, and how can we do it with star-studded main event level guys, from the Miz to the ones you mentioned. I wish Kevin Owens was healthy enough to come back and do something, but I don't know what level his health is at right now. And if we're doing that, all you really need to do is go, okay, well, who are the 10 guys that they're probably going to use? And you can figure it out for yourself. So it doesn't leave much to the imagination.
How would have you booked his last match?
I would have kept him heel to start with, all the way to the end with Cody, because we've made the devil out of him, and that's evil. And are we going to get our Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker moment of, I'm sorry, son, you know what I mean? And he fades away and becomes a ghost or what have you, like Qui-Gon and the rest of them do. So once you start on a big heel turn program, I knew they were kind of screwed, because a guy his level that's been a baby face, you're only going to be as good of a heel as you were as a baby when you switch. So he's an awesome baby. So when he went heel, it was believable. So to blow that off in one SmackDown promo was asinine. I don't think you can turn him back baby and have him have regret and empathy in 1 year's time. That's like a 2.5 year storyline to like get all the heat off from when he was a baby face. So right out of the gate, the choice was strong, but you can't do that in 1 year. That's a long-term story to tell, man.
Mm-hmm. Don't you think though?
Apparently you guys love this John Cena bubble. Pick a name out of the hat.
No, absolutely
Okay.
not. Before you came on, I shit on the whole thing, and my only thing was there's no surprises. There's no surprises because you have to win 4 matches per se, or 3, whatever it is. I do it by math. I don't feel like fucking adding shit. But so say it is a Jericho, right? That goes against LA Knight. All right, great. Now we're not surprised for 3 more weeks. We already know he's there,
right?
So where's your surprise?
Well, that's the whole thing. The booking for the pop, right? You've heard Russo say that. So Here's AJ Lee. Then where's AJ Lee? Here's Brock Lesnar. Where's Brock Lesnar? Like
Right.
nobody has any ongoing business. It's week to week where, they act like they're booking this stuff 3 months in advance, but it really is every 2 weeks of what do we do to keep the ship afloat and come up with something, because nobody is getting over by any means in these comebacks. So you get one pay-per-view and then you're forgotten about until the next thing. And John Cena, the top star, they're even effing with him, bro. We're all just Kentucky Derby racehorses. And if we come in last place, you're going out behind the barn and you're getting turned into glue. And they don't care, bro. Like they bring back Nikki Bella. We had a botched marriage proposal in the ring, and they're going to bring her back during his final year. Why? Just to, you guys know, just to press that button. And nobody has to say anything. It's all underneath the surface. So my pick for final match would be Nikki Bella over Strong on Cena. 3 minutes.
I'll lay down for that one.
3 minutes.
Now that you've said that, no other match will do it for me. Nothing
So Ben, do we even touch the surface of AEW at this point?
Yeah, I mean, that's the other hot button is these, Gen Z millennial girls that went over there. And it said 3 minutes doesn't work for me, brother, when 3 minutes actually would have been perfect. And I think back to OVW, and Daniel, I'm sure you know Jamin Olivencia very well.
Oh yeah,
A phenomenal performer who was also buried
his last match recently.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I watched it. It was excellent.
Yeah.
And to the everything is a test. Day one told me everything is a test. All the time you're being tested. And these girls get this false positive from NXT. They're told they're the best. They go up to the main roster. There's no money written on them. They get released, use their connections with the cool kids in Florida to get an AEW shot. And then when they get tested there saying you only got 3 minutes, that doesn't work for me, brother. And, oh, no, they were cool. Everybody was saying, no, we understand. No. As soon as you said no, all it took was looks out of the side of the eye between producers and over guys going, they're done here. Instead of going, you know what? A match is going to be tough. How about we do this? Let us go out and cut a 90-second promo saying we're making it look like an Invasion or WWE girls are here and we're better than all the AEW girls and it should be nothing to beat all these. Then let, TJ, the hot chicks come out, give them double code breakers, F1 off, hit 2 things, pinner, 1, 2, 3. So you get your heel promo over and we get the baby faces over. That's 3 minutes and people would have popped huge and you didn't have to do next to anything instead of going, you know what, Briz, I can pull 20 minutes because Sean taught me this match 4 times over. Like if you can't get over in 3 minutes, then you don't know what you're doing. You know what I mean? It comes down to
they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah, at the end. And they're kids. That's millennials, bro. That's Gen Z thinking they know it and they know it all, and they don't know fuck all at the end of the day.
That's the mentality of this generation. I can't get all my shit in 3 minutes. I've got to show my entire repertoire in every fucking match.
And look at AEW. Everybody's doing 20-minute segments. I want to be the 3-minute gear shift. I want to be the speed to go, this is how it's done. And they got people there. The Outrunners, more of my OVW brothers, my TCW brother, Dalton Castle, they show you every week how this shit is done. And nobody's getting their head pushed into a fish tank while it's going on, bro.
You know what? Now that you said the Outrunners, I'm looking for my ball, but I dropped it.
So Ben, I want to ask you this.
Sorry, guys.
Good.
I don't see. That's what baffles me. Here's 2 guys that are over huge with your audience, and you don't take advantage of these guys. Why?
Because you're still. I mean, bro, it's the movie The Toy from 1985. Wonder Wheel. I want the black man. Like it's a billionaire kid. It's a billionaire kid who acts like he's been booking since 8th grade at the lunch table, but really he doesn't know what he's doing, and nobody that he's surrounded himself with, of the highest level people, from a Dustin Rhodes to a Jericho to a whoever. That's not who he's using as his brain trust. He's calling Meltzer on the phone on air, and he's using guys from the dirt sheets. Like, what do you expect? If you're going to be a baby booker, you're only going to learn lessons the hard way. And the fastest way to lose $150,000 on the indies is to start your own wrestling company. So he decided, hold my beer, I'm going to lose X amount. Dude, how would you like to see those ledgers? I got to believe we're $150 million under, based on poor decision, ego management, as opposed to going, you know what? I'm the owner, but who's the guy who owns the Dallas Cowboys? The old
Jerry Jones.
Is Jerry Jones on the sideline coaching the show? Is he the offensive coordinator coming up with plays?
Sometimes.
No. Well, gives the Iggies to drop the ball when the mob tells him to. But, like, that's my point. But this guy wants to do that. He should have just been an owner and put in charge Dustin Rhodes right out of the gate, bro, in my opinion. Mark Henry. Right. Guys who know what this shit is about. And instead, we're all just there to collect a paycheck, to shake this money mark upside down for every last coin he's got, as opposed to go. And that's the weird worker mentality of, shut up, bro. We all got jobs. We're making crazy money. Well, that's only going to last 5 years. How about we do a good job and make more money and last 10 years? But that's, unfortunately, in the world of carnies, queers, and addicts, that's not how we operate, bro.
So I want to ask you something else, too. You obviously pay attention to everything, which you should. It's your job. Can you just put in, I don't know, fuck, it may take more than that, but can you put into words, small amount of words, the state of refereeing today comparative to, let's just say, I don't know, 10 years ago?
Yeah, sure. I mean, obviously I'm here with top of the line referees who absolutely understand it. And if you guys want to see how a ref does it, because I trained one of the best refs on the indies, my best friend, referee Sideburns, Jason Massey, and I go, you're done watching wrestling how we watch wrestling. You watch it from a ref's point of view. Tonight on Raw, or whenever you guys are watching next, do not watch the performers. Just watch the ref, and watch how your perspective of how you watch a match changes completely. It's all, and fans never think about doing it that way. But when you're training a ref, and I'm saying this, and he'll send me spots of where I'm watching it from the worker point of view now, and he's schooling me on things. Right. You know what I mean? But I don't go right at somebody on Twitter, but I was a little bit feverish with the flu last week, and I got angry, so I was just like going at people. The young African-American lady who was the worker, and now she's the ref on TV, forgive me, I don't remember her name. Tiffany? In WWE.
Daphne.
I think she's pretty good, but last week she starts doing Don Stevens shit. We got chops, and she's going, oh, like selling chops. Right. I went right at her. I go, honey, you stop selling chops. Nobody hit you. Right. That's one of the worst things. Like, you can register, but if you're going like on a sell, now you're pulling focus. The boys are going to feel some way about you in the back because they're watching, and it's going into business for yourself when you're supposed to be a ghost, a ninja in the ring until the right time when we're going to use you for something, or we're going into the pinfall. So that type of pulling focus is amateur hour. And obviously we can talk Don Stevens all day long of her ridiculous ego. And like, really, she's dialed it back in the last year after 2-3 years of, this is my show, I'm the best ref, you don't know who I am, whatever, of when you're inside the bubble, how things can spin out of control in people's minds. So, and then there's been plenty of 1, 2, and they know the finish and they pull back. This just things that stooge off the falsy. You know what I mean? Yeah. And really, to me, that is, I think, since OVW split and they went to FCW, we've had nothing but a factory system that doesn't make real workers, that doesn't make real referees. They learn paint by numbers. They don't know and watch tape and their history, because good artists create, great artists steal and make it their own. So are they watching everything from 1980 to 1995 going, okay, here's where they did this with this guy, and here's where I can do that, or I like the way this person slides into the ring. That'd be about the coolest thing a referee would have done in 1992 is to run down and hit the ring on a baseball slide and make themselves look athletic. Like that's about it, you know? But yeah, the fact that these kids, again, they're the what do the kids call it, main character syndrome or whatever it is, like they think they got to be in the forefront because I got it on here. But then there's another referee who's OVW brother who should be on the main roster and has been up there. I almost hate to say his name because my commentary could bring heat, but Chip Danning, aka Package Chris Sharp, I think is a phenomenal referee. And you've probably known him since he was 2 years old, because when I helped him move into OVW, he was Hebner connected, and there's pictures of, you know, your dad and uncle holding him as a baby, you know.
Yep.
So
Yep.
he was kind of born into the referee spot, but he trained with Rip. He gets it, he understands it, and he's never over the top. He's probably the most professional referee that's in the WWE program right now. I would say Rump Thump in AEW, who's an OVW brother, gets it too. There's been a couple spots that are questionable, but
Who's that? Who's that?
The black kid
Stephon
over
Smith.
Stephon Smith.
Okay. Hey Ben,
So-
let me cut you off for 1 second.
Sorry. Yeah, I know I can go. So just tell me.
No,
to
you're
shut the
good.
fuck
No, I'm never going to tell you that, brother. You know, here's the biggest thing that I think that so through my training, which was obviously through multiple people, mainly my dad, right? My good brother Jimmy helped me a lot of times as well. Mike Kyoto. But I want to say this. I think that you hit something dead on that I've been saying, Jimmy's been saying for years. The referees nowadays feel like they're talent. And we were raised and trained that we're not talent. We don't put asses in seats. No one buys a fucking ticket from us or for us unless we give them out as comps. Okay. And now it's just like you said, the girl thought she was bigger than the actual talent in the ring, that she was the talent. And I see this so much, and it pisses me so fucking off that it makes me want to jump through my screen and literally clothesline the fuck out of them. Yeah. Because they're doing these things and gyrations that you're describing on purpose. And it's to try and get themselves over. You're not going to get over as a referee. All you referees that are listening to the show, you're never going to get over. You're not over. You never will be. You are a referee. You're paid to help the performers. That's your job. Your job is to help enhance a match. That's your job. Your job is to get to the finish and make the other stuff before that, make it look like the finish. It's a very simple concept, but very hard to do. But when you want to add shit in there, like you said, I can't stand when people. I've seen guys where they take a backdrop and the referee's going, "Oh," and he's selling his bag. Yeah. Like, what the fuck, motherfucker?
Dude, you watch football yesterday?
Of course. You have a lot of nerve to wear that sweatshirt. You have a lot of nerve to wear that sweatshirt, by the way.
Yeah, bro, that's my own torture. How many refs did you see on all those hits go, "Oh, he killed him"?
None. Zero.
Zero. There's only two things that a referee in 2025 who wants to be germane and wants to be a main character could possibly do.
Right. Do you watch UFC?
Yeah. Merglihat and those guys they're not selling for what
somebody gets fucking knocked the shit out of them or hit so hard. Do you see them going, "Oh my God, he's got to be"? No, they're checking, seeing on him. Like, that's the job. Until these referees, I've talked to some high reps. I'm not even naming names. It's not even that important. That call me on a regular and just go, "Why is he doing this?" And I go, "Don't fucking ask me. I don't know."
Because it really is iPad participation trophy at NXT. If you're a worker, you're gonna do your 5-second entrance, and my arms do this, and then I get to the corner and I do this with my arms. It's the Randy Orton factory. Right. They saw what worked with Orton, and they just clone. And every time you make a clone, the quality goes down and down and down and down. there's only two main character syndrome things that any ref could do in 2025 to get themselves over. Is either pick up green dildos off the fucking mat that fans throw, and that becomes your thing, right? From the NBA shit, if you're going to emulate it, or someone has bought you off and you are now either corrupted by the mafia or a mafia character, if we only had any of those in NXT that they will allow to get over, possibly, to start buying refs off to throw matches that would echo what's going on in the scandal in real life. But instead, they think they're absolutely the star because we're in WWE, and anybody outside of that bubble, what do they know? And even guys who were legends in this business. Go ahead, please.
Ben, there's one more.
Yeah.
Screw Bret Hart.
Yeah. Absolutely. Bring him back just to F him over.
Yeah, man.
Cut him and Goldberg and cut their go home speeches. It'll be a good time. But yeah,
actually,
there's
for a second there, Brian, I thought it was when Brett was getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. I thought that was your dad jumping in the ring for a second there.
But yeah, man, aside from that, you should be priding yourself on staying small, on being an old school ref, and really enforcing the rules, and that people aren't getting over on you, making you look stupid with 3 heel cheats in the match. Now the ref's an idiot who shouldn't be in there, because if he was to go backstage and watch his match, somebody should be in, like Bruce or whatever we've seen from Unreal, should be like, you screwed up that match. They cheated 3 times. What are you, blind? And like, that should be the heat. Right. No referee is ever bitching that like the talent is effing over their credibility. That could be a storyline unto itself, and right down the middle, and refs start throwing matches out when guys are cheating and reinforce the rules, because a heel's only going to get over if he cheats. But if you cheat and never get caught, now the ref's an idiot.
But instead we get heat, right?
Yeah.
But on the wrong person.
That classic babyface heat.
Right. I mean, it's just wow. Well, Ben, I hate to do this, buddy, because we could sit here and talk all day long. Yeah. We might even could have the longest podcast on record, but we do got to get out of here.
No, we've had Al Snow on before, so
that was a long one. That was. Ben, here's your chance, buddy. Not that you need to, but it can only help. Yeah. Put out all your plugs. Put out anything you want to put out, man, and we'll be quiet, and the floor is yours, my man.
Well, I appreciate it, man. Being here with the Zebras today has been a real honor. It's cool to be in your guys' clique for a minute, man, because I know it's a tight-knit group who's got to deal with a lot of egomaniac asshole wrestlers, and you never really get much of the shine that you guys absolutely deserve as the third man in the ring. And I appreciate the shit out of all you guys, no doubt, because it helps me get my heat. You guys want to hear more of me running my big fucking mouth? You can do that at russobrand.com for the Raw and SmackDown review, or Master Shoot Theater, where I rib on Vince and everything else. Or you can join Hamin Media Group and come over there in the Facebook group, Great Wrestling Fans, sharing opinions, sports betting, everything that's going on in the world. If you want to come check me out live, they just, when I thought I was out, they pull me back in. We're doing a 2CW reunion show the 21st and 22nd in Watertown, New York. Night one's going to be Hardy Party with a live podcast and Jeff's band and other surprises. So the Hardys will be there. Night two, tons of Impact guys, Moose, Rich Swann, the Rascals, as well as the Godfather's going to be in the house. So huge shows. Yeah, man, going to be a good time for sure. And 2CW is that old ECW feel. We ran New York for a decade. And it's going to be cool. It's olderer, fatterer, balderer 10-year reunion. So
is that Ben, is that like warehouse building?
Yeah, in Watertown.
It's got
at the
upper deck.
Center. Yeah,
it's got like
at
upper
the
deck.
Center. Yep.
Dude, so, I worked there.
Yeah, I got beat there plenty of times.
Well, it was when me and Billy Corgan, Nick Aldis, and James Storm. Not James. I mean, not James Storm. Tim Storm went there for a show, and we left early, and that's when all hell broke loose. They had shit go crazy that night.
It's nuts. I mean, especially with my character, I've gotten death threats there because it's 10th Mountain Division is stationed there. So there's tons of hardcore killer vets that actually
Oh,
live
wow.
there. And, you know, all you need to do is pluck that PTSD 9/11 string and it can get real dangerous real quick for me. But, you know, I like riding that razor's edge a little bit, man. But if you want to see me and see what I do where I don't need to ask for a wrestling job and I can talk how I want to because I don't give a shit anymore, come to my cannabis dispensary in Clay, New York, Route 31, Ravens Joint, ravensjoint.com for the best New York cannabis, man. I'm so lucky to have great business partners, and you never know what WWE or AEW star is going to be there visiting that week.
Wow.
Yeah, man, it'll be cool. And we're going to do more signings there. There's always something going on at Ravens Joint. But if you just want to look at weed online, go to ravensjoint.com. Sorry, I can't ship out of state, you guys. But if you want to make the pilgrimage to upstate New York, would always love to have you. Give you a $5 face slap and take a picture.
Fuck yeah.
So
at Ben,
I do
at
have
Ben
a question
underscore
though.
Hamin. Yeah, if you want me on Twitter, at Ben underscore Hamin. Yeah.
I do got a question. Didn't you? I haven't. Obviously, if you're still doing it, I haven't watched, and I used to keep up with it a long time. Didn't you used to do it on? I think it was on Russo's network. Like an Impact TNA. Well, Impact was the time before it went back to TNA. Like a review show. Do you still do that, or a TNA review show?
That was Big Ray and I, and that was on
Okay.
Hamin Media Group, the Impact Attack. And yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not hosting that one anymore, but the vet, our OVW brother, hosts that as
Yeah.
well
Okay.
as other. And we'd love to have you on there, man. Daniel, if you want to give us that inside look, I'd be happy to make sure you got a spot anytime you want to come on to talk Impact. And but yeah, man, we try and review everything we can until we have to tap out because the creative is so bad. But I've passed a lot of duties onto the media group, and we have a lot of great reviews of all those shows and watch alongs and whatnot because we just want to support all the products in every way we
Yeah.
can in the fan base to have a community, whether you know it's watching live watch alongs or just being in the discussion group, adding your 2 cents. So I'm glad to see Impact make a comeback. I enjoyed being their webmaster for about 9 months, even though I had to sue to get my check. But you know that. Well, welcome to the biz, Briz. That's the way it goes during the Dixie era. So that's just part of the fun, man. But you be safe on the road, bro, and make
Okay.
sure somebody else carries all the boards in.
Yeah. Of course. 100%.
I've witnessed it personally. He does that. Yes.
That's nice.
Good deal. Well,
Well,
Ben, thank you so much, buddy. And if you ever want any of us to come on the show or all of us at one time, whatever you want, just reach out to us. We're here for you too. We like to help each other, just like like you said, the wrestling Briz. But
man.
we're all together, man.
It would be an honor to have you on HMG or Russo brand. I'll definitely talk to my producers and we'll try and get some more stuff set up. Rising tide raises all ships. It's great to do the crossover with K100, Cafe de Rene, and tonight to be here with you guys. So thanks again for the invite, and I had a great time.
Thank you, buddy.
There we go.
Awesome. Awesome.
Love it.
Y'all have a good night, boys.